Would you all please rise and join us for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a roll call, please.
Mr. Burns?
Here.
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. D'Andriano?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Mr. Griffin?
That has a nice ring to it, Mr. Rogan. Yes, I'm here too.
Thank you.
Order to the bills, please.
I will make a motion that the town board approve abstract number 13 dated July 9th, 2014 in the amount of $447,739.05.
Second.
Have a roll call, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. D'Andriano?
Yes.
Mr. Rogan?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes. Kevin, are you quite prepared to talk about highway requests and things?
I am prepared to talk about Russ Goff's request for a new hire. Following the recent termination of an MEO at the Highway Department, I request to hire Dennis Nicholas to fill his vacancy. Dennis has much experience in landscaping, concrete, and tree work, and I believe he'll be a great addition to our crew. So based upon the Highway Superintendent's recommendation, I'd make a motion to approve the hiring of Dennis Nichols, subject to any paperwork and background checks that need to be completed. All completed?
Good to go.
Waive that. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Second item on my agenda is we don't have the town attorney here. We
have a town attorney here, but he's preoccupied at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, it's okay.
As I understand it, we request an opinion from the town attorney regarding our use of funds to maintain the lake and maintain the dam. And as I understand the legal opinion, it would be appropriate to use general funds to repair the dam, but not to maintain the lake. And that it would be appropriate to assess either or both of those costs to the district. Currently, I understand we do not assess the cost of the dam to the district, and I think at our last meeting we discussed the fact that there are actually safety issues related to...
Well, essentially on what basis was the town using general funds to maintain the dam? And the attorney's opinion is essentially what you outlined, that more people benefit from it than just the people in the park district or the 13 maps. So that it is an appropriate. Yeah, I understand what he's saying in there, but he also puts the caveat in there that the dam
inures the benefit of more than just the district.
Right. And as of right now, to the best of my knowledge, the only time we've ever expended money out of general fund has been specific to the dam.
Right. So I don't think there's a need to change our policy now. So it's nothing. We're not making a motion. It's just basically this is.
Yeah, it's just we had done it. Everybody was to review it, and if they had any questions, speak to the attorney. Originally, this was given to us as confidential attorney-client work product for discussion purposes. I assume everybody's had a chance to read and review this. If there's any questions, we'd ask our attorney, but he's not here right now. Bruce, you have any comment, questions?
Once it's no.
As soon as
As of just the work.
Well, that's what I have to wait for. As long as it's a work product, technically you can't turn it over to me. I just would like to, review it. That's all. Thank you.
It will be available in the clerk's office tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next item on my agenda, my favorite, conference requests. We have 3 conference requests that have been submitted, and I would make...
Peter!
First item on my agenda is the traffic detour for Route 311. This is in reference to the MTA project to fix the crossing right out front here. MTA does not have a date on this. They haven't provided us with a date, but they say it's going to be prior to the start of school in September sometime, and it's probably going to go from a Friday to Sunday. David Rains, I have a memo here from David Rains, the fire marshal. He submitted a plan to reroute traffic, a detour plan. He's requesting or proposing approximately 2 to 3 weeks prior to the closing to put up electric signs to be installed at 311 westbound in the vicinity of the A&P, Route 311 eastbound in the vicinity of I-84 near the Park and Ride. And the sign should read Route 311 closed at railroad crossing, use alternate routes. Dates and closures should be included on the signs.
They're not doing half and half, they're closing the whole thing?
Yeah, the way it's set up is they have to cut the tracks out, and they have to take all of the crossing material down so it cools off, and then paving the other side. So there will be traffic delays through rush hour on that Monday, but they should wrap it up. Also, our town planner had recommended a third sign, or move the sign from 84 to somewhere in proximity to 292. So we reach out to the DOT and see if they want to bring us a third sign, or we'll move the sign from 84 down to 292 as per Mr. Williams' recommendation. But September 12th, it's probably be a good weekend to be out of town if you have the opportunity.
Well, we're talking with the MTA. Did they actually fill the sinkhole? I saw trucks down there.
Yes.
They're working on it.
Wow. It's a miracle.
Yeah, they did fill it. We had to go by, yes.
To approve Caitlin Law and Kamal Johnson to be members of the Putnam Lake Fire Department. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'd like
It would have been, basically $10 an hour roughly, and then
I guess these folks agreed to the seasonal rate of this 1,100, 700, 500. So I think that's what we should pay them, and if it goes, 120 hours for each position. If it happens to go over 120
pay them the
hours, then we pay them for that. They can't go over much. The short season.
So are we changing the resolution or no? Just approving it at the hourly rate, or are we modifying it?
Personally, I just approve the request as written, but that's entirely up to you guys.
Well, I think we should
Okay.
do it the intended pay rate,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's more than that,
So just amend it to say we're going to go with these hourly rates, and to the extent that they exceed $120 an hour, we'll authorize additional time to be paid.
so moved.
I'll second.
What he said.
You got all that, Anthony?
No, I didn't.
okay, let's vote.
All in favor?
All right.
All right, well, we don't know what we did, but we are all in favor.
Okay.
I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Yeah, I can help you out too.
I don't know where we're going, but we're making good time.
And that's all I have.
Okay, Charles?
Okay. Next up is the resolution to renew the cable television franchise agreement with Comcast. So we did have the public hearing. We went through a tedious process with them, Comcast. It's a 10-year agreement. We get in there is a one provision for a discount for senior citizens on the very basic service, and we have an agreement or an understanding that the when new subdivisions, how they'll be handled. So I will make a motion at this time that the town board approve the agreement with Comcast Television of New York. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Anything else you want to talk about?
Someone gonna make the announcement about the concert in the rec center?
Well, we have a man in charge of announcements.
All right, good.
Actually, if you want me to do it now, I do.
Yeah, I got a pile of stuff here. Sure.
All right.
I had
So Sean,
Well,
two things I wanted to mention.
You want to wait until after Sean goes?
Yeah, fine,
He's got announcements on his agenda.
not a problem.
Okay.
And we don't want to take the new kid's stuff.
I would defer to my colleague if you prefer. Whatever
No.
you like.
Senior colleague here?
This is my senior colleague. Case number 11-14, wherein the applicants were requesting relief for the construction of a pool. While they did the work out there were two existing sheds that were on the property that also required variances. The town had charged, in essence, a doubling of fees on those variances for the existing sheds, and the zoning board is recommending that $200 be returned to the application. So I'll move, based on the zoning board recommendation, that the town refund the Bucciaris $200 on this application fee. They paid a total of $636 initially, so it would make their fees minus $200.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And then on the announcements that I have, this weekend, July 24th through the 26th, is Patterson's Volunteer Fire Department Carnival. It will be from Thursday and Friday 6 to 10 p.m., Saturday 4 to 11. The parade Friday night is at 7 p.m. and Mike gave me a note here that town board at Friday at 7 p.m. is invited to be on the reviewing stand for the parade.
So anybody has any fruit or vegetables that they have no use for, you now have a use.
Okay. Also have an announcement that this coming weekend, starting on Friday, July 25th, is the annual Putnam County 4-H Fair over at the Veterans Memorial Park on Gypsy Trail Road in Carmel. That is a great event that I hope that people will turn out to support.
We sponsored rabbit herding.
Right, you sponsor rabbit herding this year?
I think that was when we finally...
I think that was our, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Rabbit herding, yes. Go see the rabbits.
I thought we did the old goat trophy in honor of... but no, no, we didn't do that. Sorry. Never mind.
And also, this has been announced previously, but this weekend, July 26th, the Rec Center is the All-American Concert, which is free, starting at 7 p.m. And also August 6th, 2014 will be the Military Concert, Southern Duchess Concert, performing...
BQ Energy, a solar lease. We've been going around and around with BQ Energy, who is now Patterson, S-U-N. And they are an affiliate of BQ Energy, and we are... Don Rossi, Rich Williams negotiated and refined and re-refined and worked the deal some more. So we're now at a point where I believe we should all be very comfortable with the agreement. It's a 25-year lease, and at this time I would like to move the resolution solar lease agreement with Patterson, New York, LLC, as written. So move. Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Anybody want a second? Do we have a discussion?
Yeah, I would like a little discussion if possible. When you brought up the topic of their lease, I raised concerns about if they walk away, the removal of all that equipment can be very expensive. Some of it is actually toxic, and I had recommended that the town board look into them being required to have an insurance policy to ensure that if 20 years from now or 25 years from now, they've walked away with their money and they just walk away from it. They are an LLC, so you won't be able to sue them. That there's an insurance policy in place so that the residue that's left on that property doesn't become a cost factor for the residents of the town of Patterson. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening. The lease provides for a 20-year lease with two potential 5-year extensions. At the 20-year mark, they're required to post a bond to ensure that they remove the equipment from the site if they choose to just abandon the project. So
20 years?
Because there's still value to the equipment prior to 20 years. At 20 years, it's really reaching its useful life, and so we were concerned. You did raise the issue before. We did take it, we did take another look at that, and so we felt it was appropriate to require them to post a bond to remove the equipment at 20 years. And that's the way it's written.
Thank you.
Chartreux. We have a request from the town planner regarding the...
Not to interrupt you, want to finish the resolution?
Oh, no, we're okay with that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Sorry about that.
No, that's good. See, as you bring a chairman from another board over and straighten me out the first meeting.
It's very nice not to be sitting in the center.
A little more absolute?
No, I'm good, thank you. Have to drive home.
Okay, we have a recommendation from the town planner to replace the planning board secretary. As many of you know, Michelle, who had worked in the office for quite some time, had resigned and taken a job in Mount Kisco. The town planner did a number of interviews and would like to recommend to the town board that we appoint Mary Elizabeth Chartreux to the position of secretary to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I assume that means we're going to be moving Sarah over to the planning board secretary job?
Yes, that would be the last paragraph.
Okay.
There needs to be rearrangements.
All right. So at this point, everybody had an opportunity to look at this. You comfortable with this recommendation?
Which is good with it.
All right, I would like to move Sarah Mays to the position of Planning Board Secretary and increase her annual salary to $20 per hour. Commensurate with the new position, there is no fiscal impact as the funds for the salary increase are within the department's budget. So at this time, I'll make a motion, we approve the town planner's request and hire Mary Elizabeth Chartreux pending all applications, paperwork, and necessary documentation, and that we also approve the increase for Sarah Mays as per the request. So moved.
Second.
And if we could include Mrs. Chartreux's salary at $16.50 an hour?
Yeah.
Well, it just says request. I approve the request as written, so it's in there. But effective, when do you want to start? Is your paperwork process?
No, for Sarah.
When is Sarah's appointment?
Effective.
As soon as you hire her, when's this one start? When can she start, Rich?
No, for Sarah.
Sarah?
Increase for Sarah, effective when?
I would like that effective immediately.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Effective tonight.
Yeah.
So, can we at least wait till 9 o'clock tomorrow?
Yes, that would be fine.
All right.
As far as Mrs. Chartreux, I've got to reach out to her. She's currently leaving tomorrow for 2 weeks vacation, then she's going to have to give 2 weeks notice. We still have to do the background checks, and there's some employment applications that we still have to work through. So I'm anticipating she's going to start on or about September 1st.
Okay. All right, so just September 1st, and amend the resolution that we change Sarah's compensation effective tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Other business.
Me.
Department letters. Would that be you?
I got 2 things.
Okay.
Maybe 3. 2. I'd just like to acknowledge that we've received from the Patterson Fire Department, and I think we have to do this relative to Patricia's sake, that they notified us that the following individuals have been removed from the roles of membership for the Patterson Fire Department, and also ones at this time, please remove them from their fire department insurance program. Patrick O'Connell and Latrishno. And second, I'd like to acknowledge that the Patterson Fire Department has sent us their first report.
Wow.
Wow. And interestingly enough, it covers the activity report for the second quarter of 2014. So we will have to figure out what happened during the first quarter and chat with them. But they did send us a report that covered fire runs and fires and EMS runs and mutual aids and training programs, et cetera, et cetera. So happy to see that. Next, I just want to acknowledge again that we have received from State Senator Greg Ball notification that a project notification form has been submitted to the State Finance Department for $60,000 for the Veterans Memorial Park, who will be administering this grant. So we're once we get the paperwork and we can turn it around and they send us back a check, we'll have $60,000 to go towards all the improvements that have taken place up at the park.
Any other board member have any other business?
Nope.
John?
Nope, thank you.
Wow. Well, then I guess we're at our favorite point in the evening, and let's pick on Ed O'Connor. No, it's public recognition. I'm sorry. I'm just... Is there any member of the public that wishes to be recognized at this time?
Hello, Dee Dee lived this, but I would just like to comment that, well, at the July 9th meeting, what took place wasn't on the agenda, so I wasn't available. It just came online 2 days ago, so it's the first I heard of some of this. To my knowledge, none of the restaurants have been informed on any decisions, so I'm not clear yet if anything has been made quite. Just for clarification, the restaurants the residents in the neighborhood have notified the town that the smoking in the process of the restaurant has caused negative impacts to the area. Excessive smoke, odor, and noise are produced, and the operations go on all night long. The town was asked if it could do something to mitigate the odor and the smoke, perhaps filters or sound barriers, or restricting the nighttime activities. And if I interpreted correctly what was said that night, perhaps some of what's in the opinion here is that basically, of course, from the viewpoint of those impacted by the discharge and those close enough to hear an industrial fan and compressors 24 hours a day, when every burden, including possible decrease in property value and impact to the quality of life in this area, has to be borne by the residential district without any reciprocal responsibility whatsoever placed on the restaurant. As I understand, the purpose of the zoning code seeks to find a beneficial relationship and healthy coexistence between each district. In this regard, I think there's a failure within the code to do so. And I'm pretty bummed about that. But I would like to say that for you to consider that based upon what was said at the July 9th meeting, the argument that same use as a restaurant perhaps should not automatically protect this business from every impact it places on the neighborhood. It's not only unfair, but ill-defined, maybe, if everything they do is covered by the same clause. Using information from their own website and Facebook pages, the owners openly discuss how their catering and vendoring services operates as an outside function to supply fairs, carnivals, and all-day restorations off premises. I would ask why it should also fall under the same use without any review at all, especially if extra cooking hours and operation through the night is necessary to supply it. I would suggest that this double-duty service has contributed to the reason why so many smokers and fans and compressors are required in the first place. This extra demand only adds to the impact, noise level, and the cooking hours. A normal restaurant serves customers from the restaurant during open business hours. The owner themselves are admitting that extra hours are needed to smoke for all these non-restaurant outside events. So it's difficult to understand why these extra activities could not be limited, or why they automatically fall under the same use instead of an additional one. So I would appreciate if you might consider that point. I have some questions, but again, I'll review the opinion before I go further. I'd just like to say that we've lived adjacent to the commercial district for 26 years without any of the restaurant has the freedom to impact so many, and they get away with it. It's just sad. Anyway, thank you.
I just want to say to the board, Dee Dee and I had a few minutes to
Speak very loudly into the microphone.
to speak outside consumption on site. If it's on the Facebook page, Dee Dee said it's been on for about 2 days, so Bob and I will take a look at that, and we'll also take a look at the noise issue. Bob and Dee Dee had a discussion that Dee Dee was telling me about, and I'll look at that with Bob too. I think Bob's response to Dee Dee on the noise issue was almost in the nature of going out there and measuring, but not being able to certify it. Kind of like a speeding ticket. You get a speeding ticket, and if you have a trial on it, the trooper will actually testify to verifying the radar, and there's a little bit of a process that goes on. But I'll take a look at that with Bob. I'll see what our process is if we have one, and we'll see if there's anything to do under the noise code. I looked at public nuisance. I looked at the zoning code. Unfortunately, what I would want to be there, just isn't there. But those two items we'll certainly take a look at, and I'll report back to the board.
Have we tried to actually sit down with the owners, just anyone, broker a meeting with the owners of the business to say there are these issues with the community and what can be done without any action being taken by either the town or private residents?
Everything to the best of my knowledge so far. Well, and the other question too is You know, is there someplace else this guy can do his overnight smoking?
Right.
You know, it'd be, as a good neighbor, if you could find someplace else to do it.
Do you know if anyone's, has there been a meeting, Dee Dee, or anyone reached out to talk to them? No?
Code people, that's
Just
it.
code people?
Has any neighbors complained to them?
I think David Raines has been discussing certain aspects, and on Facebook, we've been going back and forth without much success, so.
Okay.
Again, the noise, as Mike said, I think that it was stated that there was no violation of noise, but I had suggested to Mike that there was never any measurement of whether it did or did not exceed that measurement.
It's
decibel.
pretty tough. I mean, we've been going through this, and Richie took a bunch of measurements in the back of somebody's house is very close to the railroad tracks, and they actually didn't go over the 83 decibel limit. So it's
Well, this is 45
Yeah.
if it's chronic, so it's much
Right.
lower. So I'm just saying that automatically, I would like not to assume.
We do have the ability to check that, so
Appreciate that.
we can ask Bob to do some monitoring
Okay.
Michael, I would just ask that
with Richie's help.
if you're not going to
And
be
his
here
equipment.
at the next meeting,
Yeah, I'll have Dom ready.
that you'll have a,
Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, Eileen. Thank you all for coming. Yeah.